One of the greatest landmarks of Brazilian cinema, City of God, released in 2002, is a film by Fernando Meirelles that portrays the growth of organized crime in City of God, a favela that began to be built in the 1960 and became one of the most places dangerous in Rio de Janeiro in the 1918. The Future is considered one of the most important films of all time, being acclaimed by specialized critics and the only Brazilian film to receive 4 Oscar nominations. In this list, we revisit the careers of the film's actors who at the time were almost all young and at the beginning of their careers and had their lives completely impacted after participating in the project. The iconic scene where Lil Zé phrase his story occurs when the villain takes the mouth of Neguinho, a character played by Rubens Sabino, an actor whose life story is one of the saddest among the cast of City of God. In 2003, a year after the film's premiere, Rubens is arrested for stealing a woman's purse on a bus in Rio de Janeiro. What's the point of making a film ignored worldwide and being broke, declared Rubens Sabino in the documentary City of God 10 years later. Sabino has been a drug user since he was 13 and lived on the street for a long time in São Paulo. The director from City of God, Fernando Meirelles, stated he tried to get him out of this life on several occasions, but that he ended up giving up, since Rubens could not deal with his drug addiction. In September 2022, Rubens said in an interview, "The film is one of the best sellers to date. It was nominated 4 times." The protagonist of City of God, Rock, is a quiet and the honest young man who dreams of being a photographer. He ends up watching from his cabin in the war waiting to be the gangs of the City of God favela. And the actor who played Rock was Alexandre Rodrigues. After the success of City of God, Alexandre acted in some Brazilian series and soap operas. He's currently 9 years old and works as a theater actor and a paper driver. Ben is loved by everyone in City of God, differently his friend Lil Zé, who is feared by the entire community. The actor Felipe Henningsen plays the character in the film. In the movie City of God, Ben is dear and loved by all, but in real life it's not quite like that. In 2019, Felipe was part of the cast of the Brazilian reality show A Fazenda, from which he was expelled for kissing another participant without a consent. Currently, Felipe Henningsen is 38 years old. A dear and charismatic man from the City of God, Kino Calned suffers from the watch of Lil Zé and decides to join the traffickers whereas Eminem in search of revenue. He is played by Seu Jorge. Seu Jorge has great works as an actor, but he reached his peak as a singer. He is considered one of the greatest Brazilian singers today. As a singer, Seu Jorge has released a dozen albums, several participations, and important awards such as the Latin Grammy and the MTV Video Music Brazil. Currently, Seu Jorge is 52 years old and is packing his 40 children. In one of the most famous and probably most violent scenes in the story of cinema, Zé convinces a member of a gang of children to shoot a boy. Who played the victim of the shooting sequence was Philip Paulino. He was 8 years old at the time, and today he says that filming that scene was one of the great traumas of his life. He took a break from his acting career when he became a father at 16 and had to work in a hotel to support his family. It was only at the age of 23 that Philip returned to acting in the theater, having participated in City of Man and in some short films after the success of City of God. Currently, Philip Paulino is 29 years old. Angelica is an old friend of Rocket, on one he has a crush, and who later ends up dating Benny. Alice Braga is the one who plays the character Angelica in City of God. She became the most successful actress of the film. Alice acted in international films such as I Am Legend with Will Smith, The Shack, Elysium, and one of her most recent works was in the Suicide Squad franchise. The drug dealer Lil Zé is probably the greatest landmark in City of God. He's certainly the character that most marked this film and is acclaimed to this day. The person responsible for bringing Lil Zé to life was Leandro Firmino. He continued to make some films, series, and programs after the success of the film, but not that it compares to the level that City of God reached. His current married and is 45 years old. The errand boy, Stick with Fries, was played by the actor Darren Cunha. At the City of God, Darren rose to prominence alongside his colleague Douglas Silva in the award-winning series City of Men. Darren recently started his career as funk singer. He's currently 34 years old. Carrot is a drug dealer who has a big mouth in the City of God. Também Lil Zé biggest rival. He's playing in the film Bill Mateus Achergalo. The actor is one of the greatest actors in Brazil and serving the most consecrated face of the cast of City of God. Currently, Mateus is 54 years old and living in Tiradentes, Minas Gerais. Before being Lil Zé, he was Lil Dice, who played the character in this Shield Holder was the actor Douglas Silva. Douglas continued acting in series and TV shows such as City of Men, for which he was nominated for an International Emmy for Best Actor. More recently, Douglas was in the Netflix series Samantha. In 2022, Douglas participated in the reality show Big Brother Brasil, and he was in third place. After the reality, Douglas got more recognition for his career and has been cast to make more films and series. Douglas is currently a father and is 34 years old. Now that we understand how actors are doing today, let's check out the current state of City of God, which is one of the biggest favelas in Rio de Janeiro and Brazil. In this photo, you can understand what the City of God was like in 1960 and how it's developing in 2022. Unfortunately, the legendary movie never had a sequel, but if you want to know more about Netflix, there is a documentary called City of God 10 Years Later. And if you like films of the genre, there is another Brazilian film that also takes place in Brazilian favelas, Elite Squad, probably one of the best Brazilian films along with the City of God. We are come to the end of the video. If you like it, leave a like and comment what you think. Maybe we can bring more videos of City of God soon. Thanks my friends.